It is time to talk about the most terrifying thing for Dogecoin. Now, this isn't something that necessarily we want to go over, but I think it's very important that we cover this because if it comes out of nowhere, a lot of people will be surprised by it. Make sure to subscribe with the notifications on. If you have not done that yet, you're going to want to. Right now, we have one of the largest cryptocurrency Twitter accounts in the world, verified, over 600,000 followers. I've talked to Elon Musk in the past on that Twitter account. I talk to celebrities regularly there, get inside knowledge, inside information. So if you want to be on the inside track, come and join this community, subscribe with the notifications on. We also have one of the largest and most successful call groups in the world in mattwallace.io and patreon.com/mattwallace. So you're welcome to join that as well. But now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the madness that could potentially unfold for Dogecoin, which would unfortunately be the scariest thing I could imagine for it. Now, before we get to that exact detail, let's go through some of the backstory here. Now, we first have to understand what's happening right now with BNB. As you know, there was a big hack on Binance chain only about a day or so ago, a little bit over a day ago, about 2 days ago, that we saw this unfolding. The information just starting to come out more and more about this. So basically what happened is we saw hackers. They took $500 million approximately, over that amount, by simply finding a flaw within Binance where they were allowed to mint more coins. And after minting those additional coins, then they had the ability to sell those coins for profit, of course. So they didn't actually technically steal it from anybody, but a big flood of that size with instant selling was going to have a big negative impact on the market. And also, it will have big negative impacts on people's trust for Binance Coin. Now, that right there is scary on its own. Now, fortunately, they were able to stop this hack from going further, which is kind of scary from the standpoint of we want decentralization in crypto, but at the same time, it is positive in that they did not allow them to get away with the full amount. Right now, it appears as if they've taken around 50 million or so. This could be a government agency, like North Korea, for example, that is responsible for this. Would not surprise me at all, or even potentially Russia could be behind this. We really don't know. There's a lot of different players here that could be behind this, but at the end of the day, 569 million is one of the biggest hacks we've ever seen. It makes sense. It's funny, right? They put 569 million. Whoever's doing this is absolutely a memester of some kind, because they could decide what amount they minted. They didn't want to go too high. They didn't want to go too low. They wanted somewhere in the middle where they could make the most money. Basically, what they did is they sold a lot of those cryptocurrencies into ETH-based crypto. So if they stayed on the BNB chain, they could have been blocked by Binance. Now, though, it's not the case. But it does make you wonder if someone who we don't like gets the power over Binance Coin. If someone gets power over Binance chain who, say, wants to implement censorship of some kind, then you could potentially have your coins blocked if you say something bad. Now, I don't think that's ever going to happen, but that is scary. But that's not even close to the scariest thing for Dogecoin. What's way more terrifying than that is what could possibly unfold. Now, let me go and show you this. A lot of people aren't even paying attention to this. So there's BNB. It's down to 277, down a good ways, 35%. Down in volume in the last 24 hours, but overall it is down pretty big since this announcement. It was all the way up at around 282, now down to 277. So that's a decent sized fall in just that short of a period of time. It was down even a little bit further than that not too long ago. But take a look at this. That's not what's as scary. What's way more scary than that is what we saw with Binance USD. So Binance USD, as you can see here, is now down to 998. Now that may seem insignificant, right? Binance USD still at around $1. That's barely a fraction of a difference. But what a lot of people aren't noticing is how big of a decrease we saw when it came to people trying to pull their money out of Binance USD after this hack happened. A bunch of people rushed at one time to try to get their money out of Binance USD. Now, fortunately, it was not a large enough rush that it caused any significant problems. But just imagine this. Imagine a scenario where someone else finds an exploit within Binance. They're able to take way more money than that. They're able to dump it all really fast. People are scared to be holding the Binance chain. All of a sudden, boom, everyone starts trying to take out their Binance USD at the same time, and they're not able to fulfill that quota of people trying to take it out at one time. And then we see something similar happen potentially to what happened with Terra Stablecoin. Now that is the worst case scenario, Terra USD, TUSD. That right there is Armageddon, and it will cause the entire cryptocurrency market to fall out. Not just Dogecoin, Bitcoin too would be terrifying. Now, I'm not saying that has a high probability of happening, but this last scare with BNB and how many people withdrew their money at one time just goes to show you that we need to be cautious about that possibility. And how can you protect yourself? Well, it's very simple. Do not hold too much Binance USD. Make sure to be holding some of that Binance USD in other cryptocurrencies. Now, you don't want to be holding too much on one chain. You don't want to be holding too much in one currency. You want to be spreading it out. Even if you want to keep it on Binance chain, you can also look at going into different stablecoins on the Binance chain. There are a lot of options here. But at the end of the day, you want to be utilizing having multiple different stablecoins in multiple different chains if that's what you're going to be doing. And also, you want to make sure that you have multiple different wallets in place. That way you're more protected. Take these steps now. Do not wait. If the worst case scenario happens, you're going to wish you had done it. Even if it's unlikely, it's still possible. And it could be very bad for Dogecoin especially. I mean, we saw what Luna did to the market. It caused the entire crypto market to crash. Binance is way bigger than that. So if we see the same thing there, there's going to be way more people. We saw some of the biggest trading groups in the world falling as a result of this. We saw some of the biggest exchanges falling because of this, hitting bankruptcy, having people lose money. And so imagine if that happened just with Luna, imagine what could happen with Binance Coin. Just something we have to think about, something very scary that is absolutely way more possible than I would like to admit. And, I will admit it. I guess it's not true. I'm happy to admit it because it's better that we know the information than that we don't. But I mean, I wish it wasn't the case, is I guess a better way to put it. It would be nice not to have to admit it because it wasn't true, but it is. So sadly, that's just the way we have to look at the world now. You have to be careful. You have to protect yourself. Crypto is a scary place if you don't know what you're doing. As long as you do know what you're doing, by subscribing to this channel with the notifications on, of course, obviously, then you're good to go. Yeah, if you want to press the like button, you're welcome to. I mean, once again, this live not exactly the most positive in the world, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not going to stop you. If you want to do it, we'll bring a new person into the live. I mean, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world to grow our audience, but at the same time, this video, we don't necessarily need everyone to see it. This is mostly just for us, right? We don't want everyone to be scared, because if that happens, that could actually have an impact on the market. But if it's just us, then we're just not going to have as big of an impact on the market right now, at least. I mean, when our peak energy is on YouTube, we can have an impact just from any little thing. It's still possible to have an impact now. Sometimes it happens, but it's not going to be as significant, fortunately, in this case being in the negative direction. We don't want that. It's hard for me to openly criticize a company I used to love, says David Marcus. And that gave so much to... He was a big contributor to PayPal, but PayPal's new AUP goes against everything I believe in. A private company now gets to decide your money. They can take it if you say something they disagree with. Insanity. Elon Musk says agreed to that. Basically, what this story is that PayPal was looking to implement something where if they think you say something that's incorrect, whether it is or not, then they could potentially fine you $2,500. So they could steal your money, basically, for, quote, disinformation. But who gets to decide what that is? Well, I certainly don't trust PayPal, neither should you. None of us should, because they would do a terrible job at that. Is it always going to be biased anytime a company is deciding something, even if, and it doesn't matter which way it's biased. It could be biased this way, it could be biased that way. Typically, it leans one way politically or the other, either right or left. It doesn't matter which one it is. It's not fair. It's not right. People can't have their money taken. Now, fortunately, PayPal does seem to be backing out from this, but the fact that it was even a possibility on the table, if we had not pushed a backlash against this, if we had not gotten angry and spoken out, they would have likely implemented it. So it's scary how close that could have been to happening. Worrying. That's why we need X platform more than ever, and Elon Musk putting a 100 emoji there. So it just goes to show you what Elon Musk is planning here. He's going to have a payments app. He's going to have a shopping app. He's going to have a place where you can go on social media by acquiring Twitter. That's a huge step towards that. So he's literally going to have potentially the biggest competitor we've ever seen to Amazon, and also all the other companies out there, social media or not. So he's basically building a juggernaut here. And it's going to be crazy to think how implementing Dogecoin into such a big juggernaut could potentially impact the entire world, not only from the perspective of free speech, which is positive, right? We want that, but also from the perspective of just simply having a great opportunity for Dogecoin there. Now, a lot of people basically come in and look at this from a political perspective, and that makes sense, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think it should be too political here, whether you're on the right or the left. At the end of the day, having people able to say things freely without being censored is going to lead to better politicians on both sides. Imagine if whatever the opposite party of the party you support, they never have people hardly ever calling them out, because anyone who does has a much higher chance of getting censored. Then those politicians are going to feel less pressure, similar to a coach who is doing a bad job, not feeling the pressure, then they'll keep doing a bad job, right? But if you put the pressure on them, then those politicians will do better. So what free speech does is it makes Democrats better and it makes Republicans better. So that way, if the Republicans lose, then the Democrats will be better. If the Democrats lose, the Republicans will be better. So either way, it's a huge win. And so that's why we have to fight so hard for free speech, not because it's about one side or the other, it's because it's about making both sides better. At the end of the day, that's what we all want, and it's hard to just disagree with it. Also, Kanye West, a lot of craziness happening with that. Elon Musk welcoming back Kanye to Twitter. Kanye involved in a lot of controversy lately, and at the end of the day, Kanye West, he's doing a really, really smart thing business-wise, even though he already has billions of dollars. So, I mean, he doesn't really need that, right? But he's getting a ton of attention and publicity, so it makes sense what he's doing from a business perspective. At the end of the day, though, Elon Musk is really the main focus of this segment here because he's able to bring, I think he's going to be able to bring a lot of controversial people that everyone wants to know what they're going to say, whether you like it or not, back to Twitter. Some of them have been banned, some of them have left because they didn't like it. And I think it's just going to cause craziness. It's going to cause debates. It's going to cause a whole new level of news and cycles like that. Now, whether it's good for this or bad for that or whatever, at the end of the day, it's going to cause Twitter to be way more profitable. And that's going to be very good for Elon Musk, which in turn is going to be very good for Dogecoin, especially as Dogecoin tips start to be implemented at a higher rate. Right now, we do have a Twitter landscape that has the ability to improve massively. And Elon Musk and Kanye West already showing exactly Twitter's potential here. I guarantee you, part of the reason Elon Musk came back, or part of the reason Kanye West came back to Twitter was because Elon Musk is going to be buying it now. He hasn't tweeted in a long time. That could be part of it. Now, with the tweet he said was basically calling out Mark Zuckerberg here because he believes Mark Zuckerberg may be about to ban from Instagram. I believe Mark Zuckerberg took down one of his posts. And by Mark Zuckerberg, I mean the team at Facebook. It's probably not Mark himself doing it, but at the end of the day, Kanye West could potentially be banned from Facebook. So Kanye West calling that out, basically saying, hey, look, we're friends, or we used to be, right? What's going on? You're really going to ban me? And Elon Musk saying, welcome back. But Kanye West is getting close to 1 million likes on that tweet, one of the most liked tweets ever. So it's crazy, the level of energy that we're seeing right now on Twitter. Just imagine that times 10 when even more controversial and even more craziness starts happening on Twitter. Crazy is the only word to describe it, right? I mean, well, actually, no, we could probably come up with like 6 or 9 other words to describe it. Precisely, exactly 69, no more. Not one more, not one less. Also, Kanye West, I looked at his Instagram. He still seems to be up on Instagram, so I'm not sure exactly what he's referring to. He seems to be, I mean, it looks like a couple of posts were taken down, but we do know he's been deleting posts too. So who knows? Did he actually take the post down? Was it deleted? Was it a strike on his Instagram? Who knows? I mean, he has also posted it in a little bit here. He was posting consistently. He's been posting basically text messages. Anyone who texts him, he posts it. And it's actually very bold of Elon Musk to be staying up for Kanye West here. I admire both of their courage, really, because both of them, whether you agree with them or not, are willing to stand up and speak their mind, whether there's consequences on them or not, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I will say, it's hard to do that, right? It's hard to always be able to do that. And at the end of the day, I mean, a lot of people mad at Kanye, a lot of people happy with it. There's really no way to know for sure who's going to come out the biggest winner here, but it's entertaining, and that's all that I really care about. I'm happy to be entertained, and I think the more we can focus on that, the entertainment side of it, the better it will be for our own happiness levels, which is really the most important thing, of course. Because, I mean, we're not either of us. We're not Elon Musk. None of us are Elon Musk. None of us are Kanye West, unless you happen to be watching. Shout out to all the celebrities watching. But as long as you're not either of them, then, of course, you want your own entertainment to be the priority. I mean, I think it makes sense. It should. But, I don't know, maybe people disagree with that. Who knows? But take a look at this. So, of the big stories today, probably one of the ones that I think is kind of underrated is that we've actually seen Terra Classic coming back a decent ways. It's up to 2.9 cents right now. Now, not to say anything too crazy about this, but we've seen it actually going through weird cryptocurrency like cycles. So for something that's supposed to be a stablecoin to be doing this, it's kind of wild. It just goes to show you that I guess you can never really count anything out. And now it's still down a lot. It doesn't seem to be going up that much, but at the end of the day, I mean, we have seen a couple spikes here for it, which is just weird to think about. Perhaps this could actually be a good investment right now. It's really hard to say for sure, but it's shown the ability to spike out. We already saw Luna coming back a decent ways. So what's going to happen here? I don't know. Maybe you should put some money into this, and maybe it'll be the same thing as when we saw Luna bottom out, and then it ended up going a lot from that bottom point. We could see the same exact thing here with Terra Classic USD. Now, it's very scary because it has the ability to fall infinitely further, right? It can fall all the way down to 0.000000001, and it does seem to be trending down. But at the end of the day, when you see that type of flatness on anything, it has to be, oh wow, this could be a time to buy for anything. And there's also the complication of the fact that it is tied still to Luna Classic. What's going to happen with that? Does that prevent it from being able to spike too high? Hard to say for sure. There's really no way to know exactly what the answer is going to be here. But will I put some money into this? I absolutely will. I'm planning to do that. I wanted to mention it here first before doing so. But I'm going to be putting a little bit of money in, not too much, and just see what happens. Because if we do see people starting to want to buy this, then of course it'll go up, right? And that'll bode well for the entire market. It'll make Binance less scary. What could happen with that? The downsides could be potentially posed as less risky. All of that good for Dogecoin, good for Bitcoin. So hopefully we do see that being the case. If not, though, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not emotionally attached in any way to Luna or Terra Classic USD. I mean, they can do their own thing. Anyway, I'm Wallace. This is Stand, and I will see you in the next video.